In this tutorial, we'll implement the Giftbox device. If you want more videos like this, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And if you want to access the code or the assets of this tutorial or are looking for help, you can check our Patreon in the description. Let's continue with the tutorial. Hi, today we'll make a commonly used mechanic in Tycoon games, which is called the Giftbox device. Giftbox device allows us to crank up the playtime of our game by giving the players timed gifts. But before getting into that, in this video we'll be using a bunch of textures and a custom Giftbox mesh. It is important that you put your textures under the folder textures inside your content folder, because this is important because this defines how we'll access these texture assets in the code. As I said, we have a bunch of textures and a custom Giftbox mesh here, you can see, and they are pretty neat and crucial for this tutorial, although you can use some other stuff. But if you want to use these assets, you can check our Patreon in the description to purchase all of these assets as one zip. So anyways, let's come to the Giftbox device. First we'll need a Giftbox prop, because we'll move this prop up and down with the animation, so we need a reference of that in our code. So we'll move it up and down with a jumpy animation like a cartoon Giftbox. Then we'll need a button to interact with it, and an item granter to give items, to give gifts, and then an array of integers to define the time of each gift. Now first, let's finish off the cartoony animation I've talked about, since it's simple enough and it doesn't interact with any other code, because we'll just start the animation and we'll just loop it. So let's get on with it. So with the animation, we move the box up and down. You can see the up movement keyframe and down movement keyframe. And then while we're moving it up and down, we also scale it so that with different interpolations. So this enables us that cartoony jump look. So before going into other details, I want to finish off a helper function that is crucial for us, since we'll be displaying time as text, but we're only, since you see we're only storing the time as integer seconds, but we need a function that converts that big number of seconds to a nice formatted string of hours, minutes, and seconds. We'll call it getFormatted time string. So in this helper function, we do the necessary mathematical operations to extract the hours and minutes from just a big number of seconds. We also add any leading zeros here to the string, as you can see, and then we add the columns between, we add the separating columns between the hours, minutes, and seconds. Now, when interacting with the gift box, we'll use a button device. That is correct, but we'll also open a Giftbox UI to show more details and to show more details about the gifts. So to manage that UI for each player and to track all the gift durations for each player, we'll need to define some more variables. We'll use the maps, so let me correct, this is not supposed to be an array, it's supposed to be a map, okay? So we'll use the maps to get the per player data that we require, and we'll use these indexes to get the canvas widgets that we need, because we'll have an array of canvas widgets and we need to get some specific widgets to update them and set their values. So now we can do the button interaction. What we want is to simply display the UI and grant any gifts whose timer is depleted. So here, when the player interacts with the button, we set the canvas as visible, and then we add that widget to the player UI to show it in the interactive mode. And then we look at the durations and remaining durations, and if the gift duration is -1, it means the timer is depleted and we need to grant the gift. Well, we also then set the duration to -2 so that we don't grant the same gift multiple times. Now we'll write an async function that runs every second to update these gift timers. Now, this might seem like a lot, but what we do is straightforward. We just for each player and for all the gift durations for that player, we decrease the duration by 1 second. Then we look if the timer has finished. If it has finished, if it reached -1, then we just set the text as a tick, and then we set the image to as claimed. And then if the UI is currently open, because it might be that the player already had the UI open, then we need to immediately grant the gift and also set the duration to -1 to mark it as gifted. If it's not open, if the UI is not visible, then we'll just set the text to the duration -1. Oh, and yeah, and actually, yeah, this is indented wrongly. Yeah, so yeah, this is the correct one. If the duration has ended, we just set it as completed, and then we give the gift if UI is open. If duration did not end, then we just set the time text using our the formatting function. Now, before you have seen in the button interaction function in here that we are using a canvas, but we didn't create it yet. But we'll get there. But before that, we'll write the code where we assign the canvas for each player, which we'll do in the player spawn event. So, and where we'll also initialize the gift durations. Now we have come to the moment you were waiting for. We'll create a canvas using this. We'll define this create giftbox canvas. It'll be a bunch of code. It's not complex. It's just a lot because unfortunately we can't just make a UI blueprint, visually put our widgets and use it, we need to define each widget on the UI using code. So all of their positions, sizes, and such, we need to write them all. So let's start. You see, I wasn't exaggerating when I said that it was a lot of code, but it's done. You can see that we use a bunch of arrays that we defined at the start, and also loops to fill those arrays. It's just using these arrays and loops is just an easier way to handle creating and laying out the widgets. Yep, this is the easier way. We also have the offsets and sizes manually defined and set. Since I have done this before, I knew just the correct numbers to give for offsets and sizes. But usually when doing UI code, you would adjust the numbers back and forth at least a couple of times before finalizing them. Now, you see we get a little error here because we have our quit button, but we didn't define its function yet. So we'll do that, but don't worry, that's a short one. We'll just remove the canvas and collapse it when the quit button is clicked. And the code is all done. Now let's continue with the editor. Now I'll set up the scene here. We don't need much, but before that I'll create some material with material for our gift box here with the texture, with this T common texture that we have, and I'll also create a blueprint, create a prop blueprint from our gift box, so that I can reference that in our code. Then I'll just playtest it. So before going into the playtesting, I realized that we have a couple of mistakes here. So first of all, we need to change this offset of the down movement keyframe to negative, because it's down movement, so it needs to be negative. So when we come to the offsets here, we come to the X offset of reward button texture. We need one more here because we have 4 columns, so we need one more offset, and it's going to be 255. And then again, with the reward time text block, we need another offset, which is going to be 257. All right, let's continue with playtesting. Okay, here is our box. You can see it's jumping fun and cartoony, and if I open it, you can see the times, gift times decreasing 1 second at a time. And when the first one reaches 0, I will get the reward. You see, yeah, okay, I got 1 gold. I just set golds for all of them for, but you can set any item on the item granter. Now, I will just wait around a bit to show you if there is an, if some timers are finished while you are doing other stuff. When I open the gift, it will give me the gifts immediately. So let me fool around a little bit more. I think that's enough. Okay, yeah, you see I got the 2 golds immediately when I opened it. So yeah, this is a common mechanic used in Tycoon games and maybe some other similar type of games. As I said, you can use any other item in your granters, and you also see that times are formatted nicely. You can see the minutes and the hour and the seconds. And that was all. To access the code and the assets of this video, you can check our Patreon. So thanks for watching, like, subscribe and share if you have enjoyed, and also leave a comment on what tutorial you would want to see next. See you later.